Many organisms live in a symbiotic relationship. It basically is a close living relationship between two organisms. So when two organisms are living closely together in a lasting relationship, we call it a symbiosis or a symbiotic relationship. So there's three kinds of symbiosis, three types, and I'll just list them here. Alright, so the three types are, first, mutualism. It's a mutual relationship, mutualistic. They are both benefiting. So you can look at mutualism as a plus-plus relationship. Alright, parasitism is a plus-minus relationship. One organism is benefiting, the other organism is being harmed in some way. And commensalism is where one organism is benefiting from the relationship. They're taking something, they're getting something from another organism in some way, and the organism that's the host just doesn't care. It's not being harmed, it's not being helped in some way. It doesn't matter one way or the other if the other organism is around or not. Alright, so we're going to do some examples of each of those. So mutualism again, plus, and both are benefiting. So here's some examples. So this is a picture of a sea anemone with a couple of clownfish. Classic example of mutualism. They're both benefiting here. The clownfish is getting a home to live in. Clownfish are immune to the stings of the anemone, so they're protected. But the anemone also benefits from the clownfish because the clownfish actually scare off attackers of the anemone, other fish that like to eat anemones, like this one here. This is a butterfly fish, and it's a predator of sea anemones. It'll eat sea anemones. Another example, this is a plover bird. And plover birds actually crawl inside the crocodile's mouths. This is a Nile crocodile, and will eat the leeches and clean out the mouth of the crocodile. So plover birds benefit. The crocodile gets a free teeth cleaning, also benefits, and that's why the crocodile won't eat the plover bird, because they're both benefiting and they have a symbiotic relationship. It's mutualism. Okay, this is a hummingbird hawk moth. It's a really big type of moth, flaps its wings really fast. It gives it the hummingbird name. And this could go with almost any insect that you find around flowers as well. Hummingbird hawk moths eat the sweet nectar that the flowers produce in order to attract these moths. But then the flower also benefits by the moth pollinating other flowers. So it's also a mutualistic relationship. Let's go on to the next example of symbiosis, parasitism. We said that one is benefiting and one is being harmed. It's a plus-minus. The organism that benefits is called the parasite. The organism that is harmed also has a special name. It's the host. Alright, so let's see if we can look at a couple examples of parasitism, and we'll name the parasite and the host. Alright, these are bites on a human. They're caused by little fleas. So the host here would be the human. And the flea would be the parasite. I hope you never have to have those. I've known a few people that have had flea bites. I haven't had any myself. Doesn't look fun. Okay, our next picture here. This is a harvestman spider, and the little orange things on it are relatives of spiders called mites. So the host here is the spider. Okay, it's being harmed, it's a minus. And the mites are the parasites. They're benefiting. They're feeding off this guy. Next example here, one that gives me the creepy crawlies. I'm always afraid of getting an infestation of these, but they occur probably more often than you think. They're really not that bad. This is a head louse. If you have more than one head louse on your head, then you have many, and we call that lice. And they feed off of you, they drink your blood, and so it's obvious who the host would be again. And the parasite, the host is being harmed. For the minus, they're the humans, and the parasite is the lice. Oh, this one's kind of gross looking too. This is actually a picture of some hookworms found on the intestines. Could be human intestines or some other animal. Some of your pets sometimes get hookworms. Dogs, cats. The host can be humans, dogs, cats. And the parasite is the hookworm. Okay, the last of our three symbiotic relationships is commensalism. So this is our plus and nothing relationship, our plus zero. One is benefiting, the other one is neither benefited or harmed in any way. This one is barnacles. You see barnacles attached to the whale all over this fin. Barnacles just hitch a ride. They're benefiting, and the whale doesn't really care. So the barnacles are our plus. All right, and our whale is the neither benefiting nor harmed. So I call it a zero. Next relationship here, this is one that people argue. There's remoras here on the ray. It's a big manta ray with some remora fish. Usually the remoras are just hitching a ride. They're just getting a free ride. They have a suction cup on their dorsal fin that helps them attach to the manta rays. Some people call this relationship mutualism, because they say they're both benefiting because the remoras may be eating parasites off of the other animal, but that's not usually the case. So I'm going to call this relationship commensal relationship. The remoras are the plus, they are benefiting, the manta ray doesn't care. All right, our last example here, and this is going to be the end of the video for today, is this is an orchid. It's an orchid flower, and if you look closely, it's actually growing on the trunk of a tree. Now this benefits the orchid because it helps it get off of the ground, away from all the shade created by all the other plants that are growing on the ground, and it helps it grow higher up into the tree canopy, where it gets a lot more light and can be a lot more successful. It's not hurting the tree in any way, but it's not benefiting the tree either. So it's not mutualism, it's commensalism. I like this because it's a little bit different example than you hear a lot of times. So the orchid is our benefiting, and the tree is the organism that's neither benefiting or being harmed. It's just involved. It's still a living relationship, so it's still symbiosis. But because it's not being harmed at all, we call it commensalism. All right, thanks for watching the video.